I will be sharing to you my experience, the requirements that I provided, and the reason of the denial. So this is like, the exciting part. Behind the window, I think the consular officer was waiting for me to see me. And when he finally saw me, he did this, like this, and then to the room, like where the interview happened. Yes, yeah. So, hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, Happy Traveling. So, from what you can see from the title below, I will be sharing to you my experience, the requirements that I provided, and the reason of the denial to the Schengen visa that I applied 6 years ago. So, yes, it's been already 6 years since I was denied or got denied, but I think I have to share this experience with you, especially for those who are planning to apply for a Schengen visa so that they have an idea on what are they gonna provide and what are they gonna prepare to. So yeah, let's get into the details. So a little backstory: I was student when I applied for the Schengen visa, and it was sponsored by someone from the past. So 2 months before my interview, I did an appointment with the Greek embassy. Anyways, there is no Portuguese embassy here in the Philippines. The one is in Jakarta, Indonesia. So it is the Greek embassy who represents the Portugal, the country Portugal here in the Philippines. So one thing too, Portugal has a high risk of refusal, but we still did tried our best. Since I am from Mindanao, I had to fly from here to Manila for, of course, the interview. And yes, I did my appointment 2 months before the interview date. So here are the requirements that I provided. So I submitted the original copies of these documents, and I kept photocopies for myself in case the situation will go sideways. So at least I have a backup copies of everything. So first thing is the application form, which I downloaded from their website, and I filled out everything with my photo. So yeah, that's the first thing. Second is a notarized no objection letter. So again, since I was a student when I applied for the Schengen visa, I had to ask my university for them to allow me to travel. So I wrote a letter, and like they responded with the no objection letter. So they were allowing me to travel. And I had to take the letter to had it notarized. So third one is the authenticated birth certificate. Next is student's copy. So it's a copy of like my loads, and I provided my enrollment form too, like an accomplished enrollment form together with my student's copy. Next one is my bank certificate. So next one is my bank statement. So I had to ask this from my bank, like a 6 months transaction from, from the past 6 months. Next one is a flight booking, which is, yeah, this is the risk because it's a to and fro booking from the Philippines to Portugal. So it's a confirmed booking. So this is like a requirement, really, like compared to other visas, that visa application, I mean, that they're not asking yet for a flight booking. But with this one, with the Schengen visa, from what I understand, um you have to provide the flight bookings, the to and fro, which is like confirmed. Next one is a travel insurance. Next one is the termo de responsabilidade. So this um, document, my sponsor provided this document. So he had it translated into English and notarized too. So next one is an invitation letter. So yeah, an invitation letter from him, and it was notarized too. So he had to mail all the documents from his side anyways. Next document that we provided is sponsor's bank statement. Of course, like it's not just my bank statement, so we have to provide, my sponsor's bank statement too, since it's gonna be him who will cover, of course, all the expenses. So they embassy needs to know if he's capable of everything. And the next one is my sponsor certificate of employment, sponsor's passport copy. So we had his passport copy and like the stamps to like of his visits or travel here in the Philippines, since he came here like thrice already. So we had those documents, you know, copied. His proof of residency, of course, this is necessary, like, to give a proof of his residency. Next one is the sponsor's payslip from, of course, from his job. And the last one is our proof of relationship. So like we printed photos, like, of us together with family, so like a proof of relationship. From what I remember, those were the requirements that I provided, during the application. So those were the documents that I provided. So I will be sharing to you the experience on how the interview went. So on the interview day, I arrived at the embassy, which is in Makati. I think that was 1 hour before, or 2 hours, close to 2 hours before, my interview, like the schedule appointment. So when it was already time for us, like, with all the applicants there to, get in, go to the office. So yeah, there were like couple of us, who applied. Like the others were applying for, of course, work visa. So when we got there, we had to submit all the documents. They had to get our biometrics, fingerprints, photo, and then a signature too. Then after the biometrics, they gave us a slip, like, to pay for the visa fee, which is it has to be paid like in a bank, which is across, the embassy. So it was quick. The amount that we paid, I guess it around that time was close to 10,000 pesos. So yeah, after the payment, I just did, submitted the the form, the proof of payment, and then we waited for us to be called. So when it was already my time, so actually the interview went pretty quick. It wasn't like, that a lot of like um, questions that were asked. I did not feel nervous. Like the conversation with the consular officer was, it went like smooth, pretty casual. Like there's no pressure. I don't know with the other applicants, but in with me, I did not feel any pressure. So yeah, the questions were just like the very basics. He asked me who, how am I related to, which country. Then he asked me like, what do I do for living. So like I mentioned that I was, a student, and he asked me like, from which province I'm from. Yeah, he mentioned that okay, we'll just wait for, for a call from them, that it's gonna take maybe like 10 working days to 2 weeks. I guess that's what he said. So yeah, it went pretty quick, really. Like I did not even expect that it's gonna be that quick. So December 5th, I got a an update from them telling me, to go to their office to pick up my passport the next day. So yeah, the next day I went there. So it was like, I think they have an specific days of interviews and specific days for releasing, passports. So I think that day was intended only to release passports. When I got there, it was just a matter of waiting. So like um, excited, anxious too, like to know what's gonna be the result. So when the woman behind the window called my name, so yes, he handed me my passport and a letter too. So she handed this letter, which of course it states the refusal, the denial. It's stated here. So there are two reasons why I was denied. But the thing is, in my case, which I was surprised because behind the window, I think the consular officer was waiting for me to see me. And when he finally saw me, he did this sign, like he pointed, and then like this, and then to the room like where the interview happened. So I was like, oh, so he's calling me my attention. So I think he waited for me really because like from other applicants there who got refused to, it was only me who he called. I went in and we talked. So this is like the exciting part. So he talked to me. He mentioned that they felt disrespected, that my sponsor kept on calling them for for follow up with the application that I did. So they were like, he is not the applicant yet, it's him who kept on calling us. So he mentioned that they felt disrespected with that action of my sponsor. But it wasn't like the reason anyways with the denial. So main reason of the denial is that I don't have sufficient fund on my bank account to cover my expenses in case. So this is what he mentioned. Even though the trip is sponsored, he mentioned that there should be enough fund in the applicant's bank account in case things will go sideways. Like, so he gave me examples anyways, like let's say since they don't know who the sponsor is, like they don't see the sponsor, he don't know what kind of attitude he has. So it's just, they're just thinking like worst case scenario, what if like me, if I get to, to that foreign country, and then my sponsor and I will have an argument, and the sponsor will kick me out of his place. So where am I gonna stay? That's what he said. So my money from my bank account is not enough to cover the entire stay if I will stay for like a month in Portugal. So I will not be able to cover the hotel, for my food, so the expenses. So that's one of the reasons. And like he said, what if my sponsor will get into an accident, will die, so who's gonna like take care of me, like in Portugal? He mentioned too that even if I will not wait for like my fly back, like if I want to fly back to the Philippines, my money is still not enough to book a ticket, to fly back to the Philippines. And like with my ticket too, since it's booked by my sponsor, so I could not do the rebooking by myself. They're just looking with what's best for the applicants. So yeah, it's not really like it's just because we are being sponsored by someone, we should have still like money in our bank account, a backup, like in case things will go sideways. That's what he says. That's what he said. So like in my end, I was thankful that those details were mentioned to me. Like I had a talk with the consular officer because some of the applicants, they did not have the chance to get the answers, like in the back of their mind, like because there was an applicant to the same as mine, like Schengen visa is sponsored and denied to with the same reason. So she was like, you know there's always like a question in her mind because like she was like, I'm a sponsor, so what's what? Like, my sponsor is capable of this and that. So like I mentioned to her what the consular officer, mentioned to me too, like, the details, the reasons, this and that. And I think like, it's pretty the same. Like on what he mentioned to me, it's pretty the same with you too. Because I think like she mentioned too that she doesn't have that much fun in her bank account too. Like she was like, is it really like necessary for us to have? And I was like, well, from what the consular officer mentioned back there, so I think yes, it is really necessary. So yeah, that's how the application went. We got denied, and we just left and go back home. So that's it. It felt disappointed, but at some point, at least I had the chance, you know, that the consular officer explained to me, the details. So I was not left, like questioning everything since, documents were provided, this and that. So yeah, I guess that's it. Like as far as I remember, that's how the application went. That's how I got denied. So like if you find this video informative, please click the like button. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to put that in the comment section. I'll be willing to respond as much as I can. And I think that's it for now. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on our next video. Bye!